everyone, welcome to Introduction to Order of Operations. If you're not in my class, my name is Miss Gillum, and if you are in my class, I hope you have your notes page to go with this to help you look back on later on. I'm currently a 4th grade math science teacher, but I've also taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, so if you have any questions on any type of math problem, feel free to send me a message. I'll be more than happy to create a video. So let's get started. So if you're in my class, please make sure that you have your notes page for this ready to go. If you do not, go to the enrichment wall and grab the notes page that goes with this lesson. Let's get started with words to know. So the first word we need to know is the numerical expression, because that is what an order of operations problem is. It's truly a numerical expression. The definition of a numerical expression is a mathematical sentence involving numbers and one or more operation symbols. For example, you might have a problem, a numerical expression that looks like 5 plus 6. That's a numerical expression. Or you could have something that is like parentheses 3 plus 2, close the parentheses, times 8. That is also a numerical expression. We have numbers and we also have mathematical symbols. Let's look at our next word, simplify. We have talked about this when we are simplifying fractions, which is very similar to what we are going to do when we are simplifying a numerical expression. So simplify means to make a simpler form of a fraction or an expression without changing the value, meaning whatever we are doing to create the simpler form, it has to be equivalent to the original form. For example, as we know, if we had 4/8, that is equivalent to a half. They both represent half of the whole. 4 out of 8 is half. 1 out of 2 is half. So we need to keep this in mind when we are solving order of operations problems, that it needs to be equivalent to the original. So as you know, the title is order of operations. But why is there an order that we have to do our operations in? Well, maybe this word problem will give us a clue. So Sarah bought 8 pens for $2 each and a binder for $5. How much did Sarah pay for her school supplies? Well, if you think about this, how you would solve this, you would say, well, you would do 8 times 2 plus 5. And then you would think, okay, so I could just do 2 plus 5 and get 7 and then do 8 times 7. Well, if we do that, 8 times 7, do you really think that she paid $56 for that school supplies? No, that doesn't make sense. So the reason there's order of operations is because there is a hierarchy of mathematical operations. 8 times 2 would need to be taken care of first because these two actually kind of go together. They're both talking about pens. So that is the $16 plus $5 more for the binder, which gives you $21, which makes way more sense than the $56 over here. So the order does matter. We cannot just add or subtract or multiply or divide in any order. So if you're in my class, get your notes. We're going back to them now. It says, when we simplify an expression, which was one of our words, we must complete the steps in the correct order based on mathematical operations. The sequence of steps is called the order of operations. If the order is not followed correctly, our simplified value will not be equivalent to the expression. Pause the video if you need to before moving on. But wait, if you're in 4th grade, part of order of operations has exponents. And we haven't spent a lot of time on exponents, so we're going to do a quick mini lesson on exponents before we get started with order of operations. So, an exponent is what people like to call the little number, but we don't call it that. It's an exponent, or we say it's a power of. So this would be 5 to the power of 2, or 5 squared. This one would be 7 to the power of 2, and this would be 10 to the power of 3. And we're only going to do a few of these, but I'm going to show you what this means. So when you see this, so this means 5 to the 2nd power. So this means I'm going to do 5 times 5. And the reason it's sometimes called a square, it's 5 squared, is because you're actually finding, if you think about an area, sorry, that's not a square, it's more of a rectangle, but if you had to find the area of the square, you would do 5 times 5, which we know is 25. So 5 squared is 25. So if you think about that, it's the same rule for 7 squared. 7 times 7, which we know is 49, because this means that I have a square with a side of 7 and 7. Well, 10 to the third power is 10 times 10 times 10. Okay, the reason it's 3 times is because now the exponent is a 3. Okay, which we know would give us 1,000. There's your short mini lesson on exponents. So let's move on to order of operations. Okay, we are finally to the part where we are actually going to start solving an order of operations problem now that we have all the vocabulary down. So there's an acronym that a lot of people like to use to help them with order of operations. So we're going to go step by step through this. So the first part of order of operations is going to be is a G for grouping. So these are for grouping symbols. Any symbol that is considered that it's grouping numbers and operations together. So this can be parentheses, this could be brackets, and these could be absolute value signs that you will see in your future. Okay, so those are the first things you take care of. So these all get taken care of first. And so if we look in this problem, we see right here that 12 minus 4 is in a parentheses. And so we are going to take care of that 12 minus 4 first. So what I do is I write everything else exactly the same. 5 times 3 to the power of 2 plus, and then I take care of this grouping, 12 minus 4. That has now become an 8 because 8 is equivalent to 12 minus 4, so we simplified it. And then divided by 2. Okay, the next letter in our acronym is E for exponents. Okay, and this could be any type of exponent. Okay, it could be a squared, it could be a cubed, it could be to the 4th, 5th power. So this could be anything like 5 to the 3rd power, 7 to the 8th power, which hopefully you will never see. Unless you have a calculator, of course, or 10 to the 2nd power. Those are all exponents. So now we're going to take care of that, and as you can see right here, that is our exponent, so we need to take care of it. So now we have 5 times 3 squared. So remember we talked about this. 3 to the 2nd power means 3 times 3, which we know is 9. Okay, so that gives me the 9, so 9 plus 8 divided by 2. If you're wondering, well, why did I put the V? It's not a V, it's saying that I'm telling you that this right here has now become that. So it's kind of like an arrow. Okay, next, you're going to put 2 letters in this next one. You're going to put M and D together. So they stand for multiply and divide. Okay, but there is a trick with these. They go left to right, whichever one comes first. Multiplying and dividing are the same value, as I like to say, in the order of operations. So whichever one you come across first. So in this problem, you see we come across this first. So we're going to take care of 5 times 9, which we know is 45, plus 8 divided by 2. But we're not done because we still have division. So now we're going to take care of this 8 divided by 2. So this one kind of has 2 steps. So now we have 45 plus, and we know 8 divided by 2 is 4. And so our last step is to add or subtract. So we're going to put add or subtract, and guess what? Adding and subtracting are the same value because they're opposites of each other. So they also go left to right in order. So we only have adding in this one. So this would be 45 plus 4, which gives me 49. So GEMDAS right here, this is the order they go in. So first is grouping, second is exponents, third is multiplication and division, and they go left to right. And then fourth, you have adding and subtracting, and they go left to right as well. Okay, we have 3 practice problems to go through together. So feel free to pause the video, work the problem out, and then check it if you would like. I know if you are in my 6th, 7th, or 8th grade class, I always say don't use the X for multiplication, but my 4th graders are still using the X. They haven't quite gotten rid of it because they're not doing algebraic yet. But remember also, if you see a dot, that also means to multiply. So first thing we have is we look for our GEMDAS, and I tell my students to write it off to the side, and it helps you remember your order. Whoops, S. And I always put the arrows underneath to mean left to right. So I don't have any groupings, so we are done with grouping. I do have an exponent right here, and we just did 3 squared. We know that 3 squared means 3 times 3, which is 9. So I'm going to rewrite this as 9, and then I rewrite everything else. 9 plus 20 divided by 4 times 5 minus 1. I highly recommend not trying to do all of it at one time. Next, we have multiplication and division, because we have no more exponents, so we're done with the E. So we have both multiplication and division, but this time we're going to do the division first because it comes first when we're going left to right. So you're going to drop the 9 down. We didn't change that. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So then I write everything else, 5 times 5 minus 1. Okay, we're not done because we still have multiplication. So then I know I need to do this. So 9 plus 25 minus 1. Now I'm done with all my multiplication. So then we have 9 plus 25, which is 34, minus 1, because remember adding, subtracting, left to right again. And then we just have to subtract 34 minus 1 is 33. And we are done. So our final answer is 33. I like to tell my students to think of it like it's going to make a pizza. Here's your pizza, and this is the original crust. Okay, why don't you pause this one, try it on your own, and then come back and check with me. So once again, always start by putting your GEMDAS off to the side so that you do them in the correct order. Okay. Do I have grouping this time? Yes, I do. We have to group this 13 plus 1 is in a group. It's in parentheses. So 12 divided by, this is going to be a 4 now. And the parentheses go away once you've done everything inside the parentheses, times 6. Okay, so I am done with grouping. I don't have any exponents, so we don't have to worry about that. Multiplication, division. Well, we have both multiplication, division, but remember, it's left to right. So 12 divided by 4 first, which is 3. Times 6, which we know is 18. There's no adding or subtracting, so we are done. Last problem. So once again, if you want to pause the video and do this on your own and then come back and check your work with mine, please go for it. I would pause it about right now. Okay, so once again, start with your grouping. We have a group right here, parentheses group. So we're going to do the 14, divided by 2, which we know is 7. But then I'm going to copy everything else down. 25 plus 3 times 6 minus, I'm going to move the 7 over here. Okay. And then I have no exponents, so I can mark out my E. I do have multiplication, so that would come next. There's no division, so we can just say it's just going to be this 3 times 6, which is 18 minus 7. So we have no division, so we can multiply it out, adding and subtracting. So we need to do 25 plus 18 on this one, and that would give me a 43. If you're wondering where the 43 is coming from, 18, this would be 5 plus 8 is 13, carry your 1, there's the 43. Minus 7, and then we just subtract 43 minus 7, and you'll get 36 as your final answer. And the thing to remember is that what we are saying when we simplify to this is that this number right here is equivalent to all of that numerical expression above. Well, that's the end of the video. If you have any more questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. If you're in my class, flip over to the back side and do the 8 practice problems and then check them with the answer key. Have a great day.